the host rather, because I don't trust this device. Okay, so let me quickly let me quickly read our facilitators bio. Although we read it during the first class.
Is there a need for that? I beg.
No, anywhere you are, let people know you. It's very important. You cannot assume that people already know you. That's what I learned from one of my boss. So don't ever believe that people know you already. Always introduce yourself anywhere you are. So let me just quickly say that quickly run through your bio. Moyoluwa Matafakeye is a growth-driven professional dedicated to empowering individuals and communities to thrive. She is an advocate for personal branding and strategic career development. She has guided teens, young adults, and entry-level professionals in refining their paths and maximizing opportunities. With extensive experience managing high-impact communities like Premier BN, Ace Business Club, and the Intimacy Masters Wife-Stars community, Moyoluwa excels at fostering meaningful connections and driving value-driven engagement. Her expertise extends to corporate communications, customer service, and personal branding, where she helps individuals and organizations amplify their impact. Ladies, welcome with me, Moyoluwa Matafakeye. Hi, good evening, ma. You have the floor.
Hi, good evening. I'm trying to join on
Hi.
my laptop as well so that we can. But please confirm that you can hear me clearly and then you can see me.
And we can hear you and we
We
can
can
also see.
hear you.
Can hear
Welcome,
you, but
ma.
cannot see you. But
Is there any
welcome.
background noise on my end or it's clear?
Not really, it's clear.
Okay,
No
okay,
background noise. But
okay.
your video is not stable.
My video is not showing.
Oh, hey, now it's showing.
So I'm actually joined on two devices. I'm just trying to see which one works best because we can't trust any network or devices. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here once again. I'm so excited. I was here earlier in January, and then we are here for the concluding part. Um, I'm trying to settle in. Sorry, I joined a bit late. I'm so sorry. Needed to sort one or two. Okay. Please confirm you can see my other video. I think we should use this video so I can stop this. All right. Does this work? Hi, Rachel. Can you confirm that you can see me? Ruth, Mary,
I
Okoyemi.
can't see you.
I can't see you.
I can't see you on this particular device.
Okay, so which one are we using? This one, yeah? Let me.
Yes, I can see you here.
Okay, this works then. So I have to like this. Okay, good evening, everyone. I was joining on laptop, so that is going to give a better view on YouTube. That's
Okay.
why.
Okay.
Um, so you might want to make the other device a okay, whichever one works. Okay, good evening, everyone. Once again, I'm so excited to be here. My name is Muyolua, and I was here in January. I took the first session of the personal branding class, and then we are having the final session tonight, right? So I want to ask, how has our training been? How has our session been? And then if you were in the first class, can you just let me know if you recall what we talked about, if you have started putting it to use, and what impact it has had on you and on your career journey? Anybody wants to share? You can unmute and Just share.
Good evening, ma. Welcome once again. We've missed you. So we'll discuss about personal branding, like branding of our business and how it should be. So for me, I've really put mine into use. Like there are some things I've set up. And concerning the Facebook ads, you also advised me on opening a new Facebook instead of me continuing that one that isn't working anymore. I think I took that bold step and I'm seeing customers coming after I rebranded it again. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Oh, I remember you now. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Wow, that's interesting. All right, I'm so excited and I'm happy to hear that. Any other person wants to share? Anybody? Anybody wants to share? All right. I think we should have one more person. Let me mention. Hi, Ganil. Good evening. How's it going? Ganil Shukurat. Are you able to speak? You can as well drop chat if you can't talk. But I want us to be very interactive so that we can all be sure that we're following.
Okay, ma. Good evening, ma.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, ma. Thank you very much. The training has been very, very impactful. To be honest, I've really learned a lot, and I'm putting that into practice. But I'm kind of person that I go back to what I've learned, and because I don't really like, I don't know how to put it. I usually go back to the YouTube videos like that I downloaded on my phone. So most times I usually go back to videos to learn. So and it has been really, really great. Thank you very much.
All right, that's impressive. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, so without further ado, I'm just going to share my screen. And then we can get straight into it tonight. So please let me know if you can see my screen now. And then we can kickstart. Okay, please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes,
Yes,
it's
ma.
visible.
I can see it. Yes, ma.
Mm, coming. Oh, I think you went off. Just a minute, please. So tonight we'll be talking about personal branding and how to maximize social media, right? That's going to be our focus for tonight. Um, just let me know if you can see the screen now.
Not yet. Okay, I think that's started recording. Okay, yes, I can see it now.
Um, mm, okay, I guess this works. Yeah. All right, so good evening once again. Like I said, we'll be talking about personal branding and social media maximization, right? And our focus will be how to unlock influence, authenticity, and growth in this digital age. I'm sure we are all aware that we are already in the digital age, right? We have established that. So there are some things that I'm not going to be breaking down in details one by one again, because we have talked about it at length in the first class. That's the introductory class. I already broke down what personal branding means. I already explained what branding is, what it's not. I already also explained to you the core things in personal branding as well as for business branding, right? I already explained all of that to you in the first class, right? So yes, we want to focus on this, and then at the end of this class, the aim is that you understand the core principles of personal branding, You learn how to align your brand with your goals. If you remember in that last class, I was talking about you knowing you understanding what you want to be perceived as, right? As that's one of like the key places to start in terms of personal branding, right? So remember we talked about that in the last class. And then another thing we want to establish in this class is how to discover strategies to maximize social media for your brand growth, either for your personal brand or your business brand, right? Or for your business rather. Then another thing is to gain actionable tips to build influence and then to also build engagement online, right? So these are the things that we want to talk about. We have talked about this at length in the first class, right? And then, but then we're just going to like brush through for the sake of maybe those that are forgotten or those that have, that just want to like get refreshed and all that. So what does personal branding mean? I already explained that it is a perception that other people have about you based on your values, based on your skills, based on the actions, the things that you put out, right? So it's a perception. How do people see you? How do people, understand your person? How do people think of you when your name comes to mind, right? When your name comes to their mind, what do they think about? What comes to their mind, right? So personal branding is all about perception, right? It's about building trust and delivering value consistently. This is the word, consistently. So it's not just for you to build trust once. It's not just for you to build, to deliver value once, but to consistently do this, right? Because by so doing, by consistently doing, your name becomes imprinted, right, on people's hearts, on people's mind, right? Next thing, I also mentioned that your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. That was said by Jeff Bezos. So this has even explained everything that we have talked about, right? Now, why should you invest in your brand? Why? What's the reason? Why is it important for you to invest in your brand? Now, the core, I only highlighted 4 here, and these 4 are very important. The first one is that people are able to recognize you and establish you as an authority in your field. So, for example, since you were in your final year in the university, you have been sharing your story, you have been posting, people have become familiar with you, people have become familiar with your name, they are aware, so they have been carried along on your journey. So more like they can write a story about you, more like they can share your story, more like they can, they know things about you a lot, right? Then you have a credibility. You built that trail of yourself over time. Now, the same thing applies to even if you start tomorrow or you start today. So the things you put out about you are the things people know. Over time, you have a track record, right? So that's how it works. Then another thing is to build visibility. And this one is very important, either for your personal brand or as a business person. Please, you guys should use the chat if you're following, so I can know that you are actually following, right? So very, very important. Please, just a minute. All right. So another thing is differentiation. And this one is important because it sets you apart in a very competitive marketplace. So for example, Tenny sings, Davido sings, Ira Star sings, who are these other people? Wizkid sings, Olamide sings. Now we have these 5 different people that sing. Now, what separates each of them from one another? I'm sure there are some of you here that if you hear a particular song or a particular sound, you can tell who is like who is talking. You can tell who is singing. You can tell whose voice that is. You can tell whose music that is. Why is that able to happen? It's because over time you have heard this person sound this particular way. So it has sunk somewhere in your mind, and then even if you are sleeping and then you hear a particular song or a particular sound, you know that no, this one is this person. Are you guys following? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now, in a very highly competitive marketplace, imagine that you as a social media person, you start putting yourself out there in a particular manner. Over time, people would become accustomed to your posts, to your story, to who you are, to how you share your stuff, right? And that way, people are able to, know you. They are like, you have set yourself apart from others in the space, right? And then another thing is to help you to build your network. That's connection. You gain connection, you attract people. That's what we call followers, connections, and all of that. So people connect to your story. Now, in personal branding, I like to share that we have 4 W's and 1 H. This is one of the things that I personally have, I've come to like understand. This is my own personal theory. Of course, everybody uses 4 W's, 1 H, and all that, but this one is something that stood out to me, and I have been, it even helps me in my own personal brand, right? Now, the W's, the first one is who are you, right? You need to define your own identity. You need to know your values. What are your unique interests? What are your skills? What are the things that interest you? What are the things that you find fascinating? Because these are the things that make you up. So you want to put yourself out there. So I'm going to balance it. So if, for example, your own is for business, it's still the same thing. Who are you? Like, what's your business? Who is your business? If they say something enterprises, who is that person? I mean, who is that business? You understand? So defining your identity, defining your name, defining who you are is very important in actually putting yourself out there. Because if you do not understand who you are, if you don't understand yourself, you will not know how to position yourself. As a matter of fact, what do you even want to put out when you don't know yourself? Right? So it's very important. So I'm going to use myself as an example. As I'm explaining all of this, I'm going to use myself as an example. So for example, who am I as a person? Right? What are my identity? What are my values? What are my unique interests? What are my skills? What are the things that interest me? Right? All of these things are things that I factored in when I was thinking of, okay, how do I want to put myself out there? Right? Now, the next one is, what do you want to be known for? And I like the progression, because if you don't know who you are, you would not know what you want to be known for. So it's very important, right? So who am I as a person? I know myself, I'm a growth catalyst. You would barely come in contact with me and something will not spark up inside you. That's not possible. In one contact, you have contact with me, or you come across me, or we have conversations or anything, something is sparking up inside you. You are geared to do something, right? So that is me. I know myself. I'm someone that I love to teach. I love to help. What are the things that interest me? Things that help people to grow, advance in their career, in their life. What are my interests? So these are my interests. What's my skill? My number 1 skill is talking. I know how to talk, so I'm a good communicator. Of course, it's not everybody that knows how to talk that communicates well. But over time, this is one area that I have trained myself. Right? So in defining who am I, what are my values? Of course, my first value is my faith. Right? So you, in the name of creating content, or in the name of doing, there are some things I cannot or I will not do. So all of these things are important. So once you have defined who you are, the next thing is, what do you want to be known for? So, for example, you are a tailor, you know how to bake, you are studying mechanical engineering, and then you learn graphic design. Now, you see that these are 4 different areas, right? But then the question is, what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known as a mechanical engineering student? Do you want to be known as a multifaceted person? And that's also allowed. So that on some days you are showing us that, oh, you do this. On other days you are showing us you do this. However, so that you are not like, what's it called? You are not scattered up like all about. You are not just all over the place. It's important that you have a primary identity such that, like, this is the first thing that people know that, okay, this thing, or this person is highly skilled in it. If you get what I mean. So, for example, I know how to make hair. I studied food science. I work as a community manager. I train people. But if you ask people that, oh, what do you want to reach out to Muyi for? I'm not sure if you ask 100 people. I'm not sure up to 10 people will mention hairdressing. Why? Because this is not something that I have pushed out in the face of people. In fact, most people don't even know I know how to make hair. Even those that know will think I've forgotten because I don't do it. I don't talk about it. Right? Another thing is, so I studied food science, but obviously I don't even go, I don't use it. I don't use it in my career right now, maybe. So no, you cannot say that you want to do food science symposium and then you are inviting me to come and speak on food. I've forgotten. If you get what I mean. So what is one thing that comes to mind when you mention my name to people? I'm sure some people would say, oh, she can help you get a job. Some people should say, oh, you have career challenges, go and meet Moe. I've heard some people say, oh, like they want to work their CV, they want to post on LinkedIn, they want to start posting, they want to start doing this. Go and meet Moe. Why? Because over time, this is how I have appeared to them. And how did this start? What do you want to be known for? Right? Now, where do you want to establish your presence? This is a very important question. In the last class, I remember talking about primary social media platform and secondary, if you guys remember. And in that class, I was explaining that the primary one is like your first touch point, your most active, the most important one to your brand. Right? And then secondary are others. Now, primary may be more than one, right? And then, secondary are others. Now, this is where you define your where. That where, some background questions you will ask would be, where are my audience? The people I want to attract, where are they? Which platform are they? Right? So, for example, you are a designer. You know that there are some platforms that are for designers, right? For example, let's say you are a business plan writer. You know that you should be using that Figma, I see Figma, what's it called? Fiverr, you should be using Upwork, you should be active on LinkedIn, right? These are the places those kind of people are. So, for example, you're a social media manager. Of course, you should be on Instagram. Of course, you should be on TikTok. Depending on your interest or your strength, if you have the strength for Twitter or you want to focus on Twitter as well, you should be there, right? So, of course, LinkedIn as well. So, you will now define again which one is your primary, which one is your secondary, because all of these social media platforms have their different peculiarities, right? Very, very important. Very, very important. Now, you identify which platforms you want to build your brand upon based on your interest and your skill set, right? Now, the next question is, why should you invest in building your personal brand? I like to tell people that this particular one is important because if you don't know your why, on the days when you get tired of social media, you won't see a reason to continue. Or let me put it this way. If you don't see your why, if you don't understand if you don't have a solid why, on the day when you get fed up or maybe you get choked up with content creation, with personal branding, you won't see a reason to continue. You will burn out and then you're going to stop, right? So you need to define your why. Very, very important. Establish your reasons for wanting to create digital footprints for yourself. Very, very solid. Because let's say your reason might just be to have a digital presence. Your reason might be to make money. Your reason might be to attract clients. Your reason might be to attract CEOs, or whatever your reason is. Ensure that it is solid and defined. So that if you are shooting video and then you have shot 1 hour of video and you realize that the sound was off all through, you will not say, "Whoa, I'm done." No, you are not done. Because if you are done, the reason why you started will be forfeited. So it's very important that you define it. And then the last one is, how do you achieve this? This is where you now develop a strategy around what you have defined, around your brand, either your business or yourself. So part of the strategy will now be, what kind of content do I want to put out? What do I need to create this content? How often do I want to post? All of these things are important. Is it video content I want to be doing? Is it picture? Is it designs? All of these things are in your strategy. Very, very important. I want to pause now and take 1 or 2 questions from anybody before we continue. If you have any feedback, anybody, any question? Does anybody have any question? I can take 1 or 2 questions. Are you guys following at all?
Yes, ma'am, but I don't have any question for now.
Okay, but you're following, yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Thanks for the feedback. Any other person? Oinsola. I love your name. Any other person? All right. Let's go ahead. So what's the role of social media? As a matter of fact, you might be wondering, posting, is everything on social media? Right? Of course it is, but then it's important that you understand, it's important that you understand the role of social media in putting in your personal branding. This way you have a solid understanding and reason for doing what you have decided to do, right? So how does social media elevate your brand? How? It amplifies your reach because it connects you with a global audience. It showcases your expertise, shares, and that way, when you are sharing your content, it's positioning you as a thought leader, such that people are able to, see what you are doing. Then another thing is, it humanizes your brand. It gives it that feel of person, so that you are not just posting maybe mock-ups. You're not just posting stock images and all. You are able to put yourself out. People are seeing you. They know that, oh, this business, there's somebody behind. They are not scam. If you understand what I mean, right? Then you are able to engage people in real time. There's that interaction. Very, very important. Now, like I've mentioned before, one way you can align your brand with your goals. Aligning your brand. So once you have defined your goals and all those things that we talked about in that previous slide, aligning your brand with your own personal goals now, it's very important. And one way you can do that, define your mission, your vision, your values. Very solid. Then, like I said, you identify who are your target audience, and then what are their needs. What are their needs, right? Who are your target audience? What are their needs? What are the things that they need? That way you are able to see and you're able to know what kind of content to create, what kind of thing to put out to them, so that you are able to better solve their problem, right? Then align your content strategy with your professional and your personal goals. Very, very important. So that, for example, let's say my personal goal is to attract CEOs of fintech companies specifically. Now, I'm going to align and channel my content in that manner that it will attract them and it will reach them. Very, very important. Then, of course, the final one is consistency. Consistency, like I always say, consistency, right? Very, very important. Now, what are the strategies? Some of these things are things that we have talked about in the previous class, and I've also hinted earlier, right? Strategies for social media brand growth. Optimize your profile. This one is very, very important. How to maximize your social media presence. The first thing, optimize your profile. Take, good picture. I'm not saying you should go and spend the money you don't have on pictures and all that, but like have solid pictures. Let it show your face. Let people, see who you are. Very, very important. Then content planning. Very, very solid as well. Then engagement. It's not that you will just post and then leave. You post, you engage. You be the first person to even comment under your post such that the algorithm is able to pick it. That, oh, this post is a good one. People are engaging, right? Then you also join conversation, comment on other people's posts. There's this human feeling that when you comment on my post, I feel indebted to comment on your post too. It happens a lot on LinkedIn, right? Such that when somebody sees that all the time, you're always commenting on their post, somehow, they feel indebted to you to also replicate the same favor, in quotes, right? So engage people's posts, comment, even bloggers, even other people in your field, the people you look up to, people that have become bigger in this thing that you are trying to achieve. Comment under their post such that people are seeing you and then they click on if your comment is interesting, if it's engaging, it's not that you just be dropping fire emoji or love. No. When you put sensible comments, people are able to take that click on your profile to say, who is this? If you get what I mean. Now, another thing is analytics. You track what you're doing, if it's working, if you need to adjust it, and all of those things. Typically for me, I do that at the end of every week. I say, okay, what kind of content works best? What kind of content do I need to do more? What kind of content do I need to stop doing? Very, very important. And then you do it from time to time. And then you also want to consider what time is best for you to post, right? Then collaboration. You can partner with other people to expand your reach. The more you collaborate, either you tag people or you collaborate on their posts, either on Instagram or people mention you on LinkedIn, it reaches more people. You reach those people's audience, right? It's like an unpaid ad. It happens a lot, right? And it is very, very solid. The type of content that build influence, thought leadership, such that when you train, when you teach people, when you share knowledge, people consider you as a thought leader. They see you as, in quote, somebody that has sense, that has something upstairs, that has knowledge, right? Very, very important. Now, another thing is storytelling. Sharing your story, creating emotional connection between yourself and your audience through your personal story. Share your journey. Even if you don't have enough wins yet, or you've not achieved this execution, you've not done this, just share your journey. Oh, I'm learning this. This is what I'm doing. I'm having these challenges. Share your story. I'm going to give an example. So, for example, yesterday on my Instagram, I shared a personal health challenge I had, PCOS, and how PCOS is known to not make people give birth and all those things. So I shared that story that, oh, even though I had this thing, God delivered me and then I have my baby, right? Now, that story caught a lot of people's attention. Why? Because it's a personal thing. It's my story, right? It caught people's attention a lot. And, I got lots of followers from that post. I had lots of people reach out to me. And then that post is doing very, very well. Right? So these are the types of content that actually build influence. They are the types of stories. They are the types of content that I know. I have a sister. She used to have about 1,000 followers-ish, maybe 1,000 and something few. And then she shared her personal story of her health challenge, of, now I'm not saying everybody should go and be sharing their health challenge, but I'm just giving example of storytelling, how it creates emotional connection, right? Another example was earlier this year, I made a post on LinkedIn where I got promoted at work. And I posted it on LinkedIn that, I got this promotion, and then my career, and I shared that on LinkedIn. I had people enter my DM to say, oh, wow, that's interesting, congratulations. And then people now see as, that way I've put myself that the company I work saw me so valuable that they are able to promote me. That is something, right? It connected with people. And even the people I work with, when they saw it, it brings another level of, this person is doing something right. If you get what I mean. So sharing your story is very important. But I want to say something in sharing your story, that you should be very, very careful and be authentic. I say this a lot. Authenticity is very, very important. So because you want to sound somehow, because you want to be emotional, people have started lying, right? So people will just be lying, and then what they are not, they keep saying they are, right? So please and please, in as much as we are saying share your story, do this, there is no need for lies. Just say it as you are. You don't have to lie. There's no another word for lie. Lie is lie. You don't have to lie, right? Now, another thing is behind the scene. So an example of a behind the scene, like I said, is you are doing this training, you are learning this. You can share, you can post it and say, oh, this is what I am currently doing. It's a behind the scene. They are not seeing the results yet. They're still seeing the process. If you are a business person and you used to make, let's say you make shoes, you sell shoes or something, post something as you are working, as you are, going to the market to buy your resources, as you are doing the handwork, as you are doing all of those buying and sorting, as you are packing people's order. Share these things behind. It makes you look authentic to people. They connect with you. They see your process. Very important. They share your testimonials. So an example is you are in this session. Do a short video. Oh, you are in this session. You joined this session. You learned this. That's content. Very, very important. Right? Another thing you want to do, testimonials and then live sessions. So live sessions, of course, when you now have an audience, you can engage them directly through live videos, live webinars, live sessions. Right? Now, what tools can you use in all of this? So for social media management, whether you're starting out in social media, your content creation and all of those things, for creation, you can use Canva for your designs, or Adobe for those that know how to use that, Photoshop for designs and all that. Basic things you need: your phone, your light, your camera, light, camera, action. But yeah, your phone or a camera, if you have that. If you don't have a camera, no need for big deal. But like your phone, basic. And then even if you do not have a tripod stand or a ring light, let me tell you what I did. If you go to my YouTube channel, the first videos that are on my channel, I put my phone and then I placed it against my window. I didn't have a tripod stand. I didn't have a ring light. I was facing the light outside. I put my phone over my window, and then the light was shining towards me. And then I on the lights in the room. And that was it. So you don't have to go and break a bank to buy everything you need. If you have it, if you can afford it, that's fine. But if you don't, start from where you are, right? Then for scheduling, we have Buffer, we have Hootsuite, we have Later, we have a lot of them, a lot. In fact, you can now schedule right in all the social media platforms. They now have it. You can schedule on Instagram. I do that a lot. You can schedule on LinkedIn. You can schedule on Twitter. Twitter has TweetDeck, so you can use that as well, such that you are sleeping and then your post has gone live, right? Analytics, you can use Google Analytics, you can use Sprout Social. And then there is also analytics inside all these social media platforms, right? You can also use those ones to track your progress. Then for collaboration, you can use Slack, Trello. For engagement, those are the basic social media platforms: LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all of them, right? So what are the things that you can measure in terms of success? How do you say that, oh, your your content or your posts are doing well, right? How would you say that you can measure? So for engagement, those are the likes, the comments, shares, right? Followers, right? And then for reach and impression, I'm sure some of you might have seen that before. Impression, reach. It means how far your content has traveled. It means like those people that saw your content at all, right? That's what that one means. So for example, if you see 1,000 impression, it means it appeared on 1,000 people's faces. 1,000 people saw it. You understand? So that's what that means. Then conversion means at the end of the day, after seeing it, they reached out maybe to buy your product, to connect with you, maybe for partnership or whatever it is, or to patronize you, right? Then audience growth, that's like direct, and then brand perception, that's feedback from your audience. Now, avoiding pitfalls and learning from success. So some of the common mistakes you should avoid. Are you guys still following? Because I'm not getting energy from you guys. It's like, are you still?
Yes, we are.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
All right. So what are the common mistakes to avoid? Inconsistency. So you are posting today and then the next 2 months you are not posting. You will leave people's faces. People will forget you, right? Even the algorithm will forget you. It's not going to push you. So inconsistency doesn't work. Then over promotion without adding value. So you are just posting irrelevance, like it does not make sense, no value, no anything sensible there. Please avoid it. Then when you are ignoring feedback, it's not a good thing. Then trends as well. Trends are part of the things that help us to reach more audience because it's trending. So why not, of course, ensure you trend with something that aligns with your value, with your goal. It's not every trend that you must jump at, if you get what I mean. Then spreading yourself upon thin line. There's a typo there. So spreading yourself up too thin across platforms, right? So what this simply means is that you are just maybe posting across too many social media platforms and everything is the same thing. Everything is not just like no value, no authenticity. You are just posting, you are just everywhere, like I said earlier. You don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to be on all social media. If it is one you want to do it. Right? Very important. Then neglecting authenticity in favor of trend. Neglecting authenticity because you just want to trend. You are just posting things that are not authentic. You are lying. These are the things that I have said earlier. Now, some success stories that you might want to see as examples, emulate, or learn from. Number one, we have Tomike Adeoye. If you know Tomike Adeoye, for example, what has she done? Her content are very relatable. And then she has leveraged that to build a very strong professional brand, such that she relates with people in a way that we all see her as our family, right? We are all family members. I don't know. I mean, that's very nice, but what I mean is she has brought our audience together, right? Sharing stories that connect with us emotionally. Then Chef T, you see that for Chef T, she started out with posting, cooking things. Now it's not only cooking she's posting. She's now posting lifestyle content. She posts Sunday food vlogs. She posts with Mama Diola. She's doing skits. That's to let you know that you can diversify. You can post things across, across your multidimensional self, but you are still maintaining your authenticity. I'm not sure, even if it's going to happen, maybe not right now, and maybe it's because of the influence. But you cannot say that she's a correct Nollywood actress. Instead, if there is something to talk about, okay, so let me give an example that there is a conference that they want to talk about acting movies in the industry, you know. Are they going to call Chef T over Funke Akindele? No, that's not going to happen. Right? They are going to call her for cooking related things. They are going to call her for cooking related things. Why? Because that is where she has expertise. Right? Another example is Lai Wasabi. And you know, what do you know what Lai for? For skits, for fun, for humor. Right? Because these are the things that they are shared over time. This is the way that they have put themselves out there. So even if they are doing some other serious things, when they mention their name to your ears, the first thing that comes to mind is all these things that I have mentioned. Right? And another person is Fisayo Fusudo. If you know Fisayo, if you are in the tech space, then you should definitely know Fisayo. So what Fisayo does is he combines tech insight with high quality production to grow influence. Now he's being called across the world in fields and in spaces related to tech, robotics, AI, tech, gadgets, and all of those things. Right? And Salem inspires audience with motivational content and personal growth stories. So Salem is another person, personal branding, you must post. It's always on your neck. You must post, you must post, you must post. So these are some success stories that you can actually see and learn from. Right? So you might want to follow these people to also have, you know, closer understanding of all that I have explained. Now, what is the action plan after all of this chore that we have done since? These are your next steps. If you want to screenshot, now is the time to screenshot. Right? Reflect on your brand's mission and your values. What are the things that you want to do? How do you want people to see you? What's your mission? What are you trying to achieve? What are your values? Right? Then 1 or 2 platforms to focus on while starting out. Yes. Just 1 or 2 is enough. Start from 1 or 2. Start by taking 1 or 2 and then focus on it. Right? You don't have to be everywhere, like I mentioned. Then the next thing is develop a 30-day content calendar. Before you start, the first thing is not just to start. Have a content calendar. I do this at intervals. I have content like that. I have content ideas. I have them written out. Don't just have it in your head. Actually have it written out. It is very, very important. Right? And then you engage audience authentically with you engage your audience authentically by responding to them, you know, engaging their posts as well and all of those things. Then another thing, final thing, track and refine your strategy. You do this at intervals, do this all the time so that you keep upgrading, you keep improving, you keep doing better. Right? So at this point, we can take questions. If you have any questions, now is the time to unmute or drop it in the chat session and let's you know, address it together. I'm done with my presentation and I really appreciate you all tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. So let's take questions now.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, ma'am. This is Foyisola, ma'am.
Hi, Foyisola.
Yes, ma'am. So I have a question as regard personal branding.
Okay.
So in the pursuit of trying to put myself out on social media like Instagram, okay, while creating a story, and I try to like let them know the reason for my brand, like my vision for the brand. Oh, I want to ask that if another person cannot steal like my business idea or something.
I don't
get a question. Like me trying to make a story and including my business vision. Okay, like hope another person cannot steal the vision, like try to like peek into it and create something with it ahead of me. Do you understand my question?
Okay, so the business is not existing yet.
It is existing, but like the vision, like me trying to like let them know the reason why the business is existing. Like it's a long-term goal I'm talking about now, not something that would happen today or tomorrow.
So, for example, I think if I get your question very well, for example, my company, where I work, right? We have a mission, and then it's right there on our website. Anybody sees it, everybody knows. It's important for you to communicate what you are trying to achieve to your audience. But when you are talking about comparing for competitors now, you need to know which of your company's assets you are putting out and then what you are not putting out. So you are not putting out your end goal. You are not putting out your big vision. No, what you are putting out is your mission. What's your mission statement? Every business has a mission statement, has a vision statement. If, for example, you want to get a grant, it's important that you add it to your business plan. What's your mission? What's your vision? If you remember, I don't know how your school, so my primary school, for example, at our gate, you will see their mission statement, vision statement. This is something that you can put out. But then you are not putting out your big goal. You are not putting out your purpose, if you get what I mean. So whether they steal it or they don't steal it, your mission is your mission. You are the one doing it. So why you are doing it, like that's what I'm asking, is the business existing or not? If it's just an idea that you have not yet brought to life, don't share. Because if you share, of course, people can actually, steal it in quotes and then start doing it. But if this is a business, an existing business or a business that you have launched, it's important for your audience to know why you chose to serve them. That's your mission. It's important to them for them to know your goal. What are you trying to achieve? And that's not that you are now sharing your entire, life purpose, business purpose, and everything with them, if you understand what I mean. And I hope that I actually answered your question.
Yes, ma. Thank you very much, ma. I understand your answer. I do understand. Thank you very much, ma.
Okay, that works. You're welcome.
Yes, ma.
Any other question? Anyone?
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay,
Good
yes.
evening, ma'am.
I think someone wants to talk. Maybe after that person.
Okay.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for the session.
Hi.
My question is, you did mention Facebook as one of the platforms. I don't know if it's something you talk more about, but I just recently opened a new Facebook profile, and I wanted to. It's in my name, like I just added like a letter. Although I have one before, I abandoned it, more like a personal one. But this one is basically just to like project what I'm doing currently in a bit to maybe get clients or something like that. So that is difficult if it's not on Instagram. No, I don't want to do the whole Instagram and all those other platforms. I just want to like stick to maybe Facebook for now, then maybe later I can switch to all those other platforms. So if you can just talk a bit about it and any other tips you could give for me. Thank you.
Are you using it for your personal use?
It's not for I won't say personal because I'm putting out content based on my career, like what I learned in school. So it's not like a business. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I'm not doing it like or let me say that my course doesn't allow me to put it out as a business. So I'm just doing more like content marketing and seeing if I can just get one or two things from it and just establish myself really as an expert.
Oh, okay. So the thing is, so Facebook is like the father of this, if you get what I mean. It's been for long. It still is, and it's one of like the booming social media platforms. I think Facebook currently has most users, right? So Facebook is actually a very good social media platform. I mentioned it in the last class or the first class where I joined that some of you, your businesses, where you need to be is Facebook. Now, depending on your audience, the only thing is just that times have switched now, and then we have more people who are now older people on Facebook. It's looking like Facebook is now becoming a platform for our fathers and our mothers, right? So Facebook is actually an important platform, depending on your audience, depending on what you are trying to achieve, right? It's very, very, like, it's a very solid platform. I'm not sure what your exact question is, but I know that Facebook also pays people. So, and especially if it's a page, a personal page, or, you have enough followers, your contents are engaging, you are having engagement and all those things. Facebook is actually a very, very solid platform, and they pay people. Recently, I lost my Facebook login, and I've not even been able to log in and all that. But Facebook is actually very, very, very solid social media platform. And Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp is owned by Meta. So whenever you want to create an ad, for example, all these three social media platforms are considered, and most especially Instagram and Facebook are linked together. So you have another account. Of course, there's another one for Instagram alone, but you have another account. It's controlled on Facebook, right? So it's linked to your Facebook page. So I'm not sure. You said I didn't talk about Facebook or something. I didn't mention it. It's not like intentional, or maybe because it's not valid. It's a very relevant social media platform that you should be. I have a presence of Facebook. The post I made today, I shared it to Facebook, right? So I share my post on Facebook as well, and it gets a lot of traction from there. So like I said, don't limit yourself to one social media platform, and at the same time, don't be all over the place. So know which one works for what you're trying to achieve and start from there, right? So that's I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, ma.
Ellen?
Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can.
Okay, my own question is that I want to ask, for example, now if you have a business, and what's it called now? For example, Instagram now. Like I have a business page now, for example, and I also have a personal page. So do you think it's advisable for me to like use my business page for also like my personal page also, or should I like separate them? I should have a business page separate and a personal page separate, or is it possible that I can use one what's it called, Instagram account for my business and for my personal, I don't know how to put it, or is it best that I have a business account separate and personal account separate?
So the first thing I will throw back a question to you, and what I would like to ask is, do you want to be known as a personal brand and also be known as a business brand? So the reason I'm asking that question is, if you are not particular about building a personal brand, and you are just interested in putting out your business there and all that, is business brand you want to grow, you can just make do with one page. That's a business page. But if, for example, let me use myself as an example. Right now, I have a personal brand. I am a personal brand, right? With the things that I do, with the posts that I make, with the people I engage with, I am a personal brand right now. So if right now, and right now, all my posts are centered around me as a brand. So I'm the one you're patronizing, I'm the product you are buying, right? But if I open a business today, let's say I start selling something or I start producing something, I'm going to open another page for it. Why? Because I have an identity for myself. My business should also have its own identity. But assume that my Instagram page is just my picture. I just post when I like. There's nothing big deal that I'm selling as a brand, as a person, if you understand what I mean. Like, I'm not any product. It's just normal vibes and posts, like, and all that. And then I have a business. I can still maintain that same page, right? And then post about my business, post on, because in reality, posting on two different, in fact, posting on one page is a lot. How much more two? So it won't be nice that you have so many pages all about and then you are not doing anything tangible there. So what I advise is, if you are able to manage having one page and showing your multiversatile self, do that. But if you are not key with a personal brand or building a personal brand, then your business brand is the focus. So that's why it's important, like I said, know what you are trying to achieve. Your why. Why is important. What are you trying to achieve? What do you want people to know you for? What do you want them to know you as? How do you want them to perceive you? Right? Very important. So I think understanding those basic things will help you to know either to open another page or to, because growing another page is a lot of work, but either you want to grow a new page and maybe you can be collaborating with both of them, linking them together and all that. But for different identities, different pages are advised, if you understand what I mean.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. I think we are done with questions. Is Rachel here? Hi, Rachel. I'm done from my end. You guys can check out my social media platforms, and I encourage you to follow my Instagram. You will definitely find valuable content there. LinkedIn as well, right? So very, very important.
Yes, thank you very much.
You want to say something?
Okay, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay, not something more, just about your your handles. I was about asking even before you drop, because I want to like check your page and learn one or two from it. So I've been anticipating that safe.
Yeah, I'm sharing it on my screen. All right, Rachel, over to you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Everybody, please, can you celebrate her with me? She's my oga. She's my mentor. I know she says she's not.
Thank you, ma.
Let me
Thank you so
her.
much, ma. Thank you.
We love and
Love you.
celebrating. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma. We love you.
I just want
We
to
love you.
Thank you so
Thanks for the
much.
teaching. Thank you.
We love you, ma. I'll follow you on your Instagram page. We
All
love
right.
you, mama.
Please do follow her on Instagram and on LinkedIn.
Please, I want to say something. And this is like, of course, I'm done with the class, but I just wanted to like share this based on the training that you guys have been doing all this while. So I want to say that you have learned a lot, right? You have been doing this training for months, for weeks. And because it's free, people tend to like just bastardize free things. I mentioned in the last class that I got free things, and that was where my career started from. However, I did not waste it. So I just want to encourage you guys that as your training is coming to an end, like have it at the back of your mind that you will actually maximize all that you have learned and you will put it to use, so that you will not be doing yourself a disservice and then you are not going to waste all of us precious time, right? So very, very important. I just thought to share that with you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I have to leave now. I'll see you on the other side of success. Bye.
Hey, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Bye. So, ladies, I dropped the attendance link in the chat. Please fill out the attendance form. Don't come and
Good evening, ma'am. It's Rachel.
Hello? Yeah, I can hear
Yes,
you.
ma'am. I couldn't fill the attendance on Monday, and I was in the class throughout, so I didn't know whether it was dropped.
I dropped it, and I also mentioned it when I even dropped it.
I think it was when my network went off, because I was going out in and out.
You can send me a DM.
All right, ma'am.
Miss Rachel.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Rachel, good evening, ma.
Good evening, ma'am.
I can't find the attendance sheet though. You said you dropped it on the
Let me
chat.
send it. Let me reshare. I've reshared it in the chat. Please ensure you fill it out. I just shared it now. I just shared it now, except you just join. You should see it.